And you're running down my country house, you're walking on, fighting inside of me. The late great Merle Haggard right there, y'all. I had a guy put a comment on one of the comments down in one of my videos. He said, hey Telecaster guy, you got any Haggard licks? And I'm like, yeah, I love Haggard, man. I grew up on Roy Nichols. I love that stuff, you know, like that intro right there. Just killer stuff, man. It's really cool, you know. And like the famous lick, it's really cool. Typical Haggard Roy Nichols stuff, you know. I love that stuff. You know, and it's just so much of that kind of stuff, you know. Buck Owens. I mean, that's just killer stuff, you know. And Buck Owens and all those guys out there, Buckaroos, you know, and it's like, good Lord, those guys can play. And that was just great tones and great playing. Those guys, the Bakersville sound was killer. You know, and Vince Gill, him and Paul Franklin, which I don't know if you know who Paul Franklin is, but you've heard him if you've listened to any kind of music. Paul Franklin is one of the best steel guitar players in the world. Played on all of the hit records, and he was on tour with Dire Straits for a while. You need to look that video up. And I think it's like 1992. He was out there with Dire Straits. And Paul's playing all that stuff, man, on steel, and it's incredible. You need to look that up on YouTube if you haven't seen that video footage. They were somewhere out of the States playing a concert, and that's when Paul was playing steel, and it's just killer, man. But Vince and Paul did a record called Bakersville, and I remember this particular song. Vince cut it, but he had to, because Vince sings real high, so he had to change the key, and the really only way he could do that intro, he had to bend, you know. Merle's version was, you know, he slid into it, 2nd fret to 4th fret. What Vince did, whatever key he did it in, I don't know what key Vince did it in, but it's high. I think Merle did it in E, when I'm playing in. But Vince, he bent the string, he bent that intro. Like that. It's cool. Because he had to do it in different keys, so to get it to sound close to the original, Vince did it like that, and I love that. If you haven't got that CD or heard it or anything, you need to get that. That's just killer country music. Vince did it absolutely, and Paul did an absolutely fantastic job. But yeah, the Merle thing is, that's just classic country music right there. And Merle's writing all that stuff. And you know, I've talked in the videos in the past, I've talked about artists and their bands. And those bands is what gave them their sound. Well, that's the way the Strangers was to Hag. I mean, Roy Nichols and all them guys, you know, and they had some session players on some stuff too. But, you know, that band gave Haggard his sound, you know, Normal and Steel and Nichols on, you know, in the early years. Roy played guitar for Haggard forever. And he just had that twang, that telly sound, you know. Later on, you know, Red Bogart came in, he was copying Roy, all his stuff, which Red's a great player. If you don't know who Red Bogart is, look him up, because he's a killer player too. Austin, Texas guy. And then Clint Strong, you know, came in, he's a jazz guy, played all that stuff. Clint kind of played the stuff in his way, what he wanted it to do, and Merle played all the Roy's licks. And it sounded great. I mean, Clint's a monster player. If you don't know who he is, look him up. But great jazz player. But, you know, those bands, you know, in my opinion, those bands is what gave those artists, or helped give them their sound. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, you know, them guys, you know, in my opinion, those bands is what gave those artists, or helped give them their sound. Them guys, you know, in my opinion, those bands is what gave those artists, or helped give them their sound. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, you know, them guys, you know, in my opinion, those bands is what gave those artists, or helped give them their sound. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, you know, I mean, that was their sound. I mean, all them guys just gave them their sound, and I miss that. You don't have that in country music today. You don't have, Dwight Yoakam and his band, Pete Anderson giving them, the guitar players or the band giving them their sound. You've got all session players now and a lot of program music, which is fine. I'm not knocking any of these young guys, man. It's not me to say. Do what you got to do. Do what you like. That's what we did in our day. So do what you like. And I like picking and having a good time. I like Waylon Jennings, and I like AC/DC, ZZ Top, and Merle Haggard and Buck Owens and all that stuff. So that's what I like. So I'm not knocking anybody the way they make music today. It's just the way it is. We're in a digital world today, and it's going that way every day, faster and faster. So, but anyway, to the guy that wanted the Merle Haggard lick, I didn't mean for this video to turn into all this, but I just enjoy talking about Haggard and Buck Owens and Porter Wagner and all those guys, Dolly, all of those artists from those days were incredible. Bill Anderson, if you don't know who Bill Anderson is, look him up. He's a great country artist, and he wrote some hits for Keith Urban, and he had a hand in writing The Color with Jamie Johnson. You should have seen it in color, that song. Bill Anderson co-wrote that. A lot of hit songs out there that Bill wrote, and a lot of people don't even know who he is. He's just still in the Grand Ole Opry. He still performs on the Opry. But that lick. That's pretty much Haggard's version, and it's an E. I'm playing an E. I think Haggard's was an E. I think that's what key he did it in. The original key, but and you're starting on the G string on the 4th fret, sliding from the 2nd to the 4th fret. 2nd fret, then the 1st fret. D string, 4th fret. 2nd fret, D string. 1st fret, D string. 2nd string, or the A string, you're sliding from the 2nd fret to the 4th. Back to the D string on the E. Sliding back down to 2nd fret on the A. E. That's a Haggard lick, and this is so you're an A. You're bending. You're going from the you're an A, so you're playing all you're doing is hitting the you're hitting the 7th flat, like if you're in D. You're just dropping down a step. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. I want to hop on here and do a video for that guy. He really likes Haggard, and I love Haggard. They don't play stuff like that anymore, and they don't record stuff like that. Nobody writes that kind of stuff. She grew up in the Indiana town at a good-looking mom. Your name was around. They don't write Tom Petty. They don't do that stuff anymore either. It's not just in the country world. It's rock and roll. Music has changed. The writing has changed, and a lot of this music is programmed now, and that's changed. Which I'm not knocking anybody. Have at it, but I miss the real musicians and the real players in the studio. I miss like Tom Petty and Heartbreakers. They're again. Heartbreakers gave Tom help give him his sound. Those guys were just, Campbell was killer rock and roll guitar player. Simple, but just killer. Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, man, what a band and what a songwriter he was, songwriter genius. I miss all that stuff. There again, I didn't mean to get on this subject. It just kind of happened. So there you are. Anyway, For all you old timers like me. Little Haggard. Little ZZ. And Sweet Home. Who can forget that song, you know? I mean, all that good old stuff, man. It's just really killer. You know, Eagle stuff. I mean, really, listen to that band. I mean, killer stuff. But I hope you guys are having a great day, man. It's awesome to get to pick and do what I do. I'm very thankful. Thank you guys for liking my videos and watching my videos, putting comments down below like this guy did for the Haggard. He said he asked me if I'd do a Haggard thing, so I started out with a Haggard thing and it kind of ended up with some other stuff, but that's okay. I don't mind. I hope you don't either. But thanks for subscribing. Thanks for telling people about us, and more coming down the road here, y'all. So turn it up and play loud and have a great evening, y'all. See you next time. Thanks for watching. God bless.